Sponsored by Transitions Empowerment.
Welcome to another episode of Ballin VA. Man, we got another 757 great, Larry, coming on the show. I mean, he's a Hampton native. He's from the distinguished and illustrious Hampton High, where he was a state champion quarterback. And then he went to UVA. He was a quarterback and a wide receiver there. He was drafted by the St. Louis Rams. He's currently the wide receiver coach for his alma mater, the University of Virginia. Hey, man, listen, we want to welcome my guy, Mr. Marques Hagans. Marques, thank you so much, man. I know you're busy, bro, and I appreciate you taking time for us, man.
Thank y'all for having me, man. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, we finally got some football people on here.
Got some football, man.
Basketball people.
Hey, but look, we're going to talk about this. Don't get it twisted, man. Marques had a little game in the hoops, too, man. He had some games.
That shirt today, he different.
He different, yeah. But look,
represent you, man.
Hey, look, remember Marques back in the day, man? You hit me up and was like, "Yo, my family don't believe I can play ball. Send me some tapes, man." You know what I'm saying?
I had to show my players the other day, man. They got that website now, and there's a game. I forget. I think we played Denby at Fort Eustis, and I dunked in the game. And they couldn't believe it. So I got the proof now. So I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
You know, when you get older, man, you gotta
let them know, man. You gotta let them know.
They think you're making up stuff, man. They think stuff ain't testing, it don't exist. So
you sound like Tony Rutledge. He said the same thing.
Yeah, Rutledge said the same thing. He said, man, I gotta let my little youngins know on my team that I can play. They didn't believe him.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
Man, watching dudes like him, man, like I didn't realize how lucky I was, man. I seen some great players, man, in all sports, from baseball to basketball to football, man. And it's an honor, man, to grow up in the 757 and rep it, man. We got a lot of talent down there. So,
and I'm gonna always do this to y'all. 757.
Hey, look, 7-5 set the trend for the state. I mean, you know, we always had it. We always had a debate about, you know, if the rest of the state caught up, and that's a whole nother debate. But just talk about that, Marques, growing up in the 7-5. When did it start for you, man? Like sports, I know you play basketball and everything else, but when did sports become a part of your life, man, the 7-5?
Probably, I think baseball was probably my first sport. We used to play at Francis Mallory, and baseball, then I would probably say from baseball to basketball, and then basketball to football. So I would probably say around 6 or 7, you know, Francis Mallory, Aberdeen, and Aberdeen for football and basketball. So I was actually too young when I started playing football. And my first year, man, like I got rocked and I quit. I was like, man, this ain't fun. I ain't playing no football. And I remember, man, I was hiding in the closet. Like I ain't even want to go.
You ain't by yourself, man.
Hey, look, I couldn't play. I was the same way.
My mom was like, ain't no way in hell you're going to finish what you started. So I went back out there, and, you know, at the time I was playing for Coach Stanley Mann, who his brother, Alvis Mann, ended up being one of my coaches when I got to Hampton anyway. So, man, just that whole process of starting when I was a kid, man, I learned a lot. A lot of players at that time that I looked up just within Aberdeen, man. It was just a lot of good players. So just always been fortunate to be surrounded by older players that always drove me because they were in front of me, they were older, and just learned a lot from guys in front of me. So, you know, as I got older, that just kind of continued, man. Just the guys that came before me, I just wanted to do my part when I got my chance. I dreamed of, you know, dancing in Ballin Stadium, and, you know, always wanted to play in the Coliseum. You know, they kind of changed it once we got older, but all the things that the guys came before me, I just always wanted to do that. I wanted to make my family and my city proud. And so hopefully I did that. And, you know, when I got my opportunity. So that was just something as a kid on the side of the field, watching my cousins play at Ballin Stadium, you know, like just waiting for my turn. And when I got it, I just wanted to make sure my family was proud of me. So I think it was a process that, you know, just hopefully, you know, when I look back and people remember watching me play, like they was like, man, that dude was a good player. You know, that's all I can ask.
Man, that's good, man. I got an aunt that lived right around Aberdeen Apartments. It was right by the little school. I don't know if that's where y'all played at.
Well, that's where we practiced, and then we played at Gaza Hope Park.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, you had like local teams like Aberdeen, Northampton, East Hampton. Phoebus had a team that was always good. Southampton was really good. Y.H. Thomas.
Yeah, that's why all the
Man, we had
ballers,
some
man.
battles, man. A lot of those
Yeah.
dudes that I played against coming up, a lot of dudes ended up playing against the high school, man. A lot of talent. But Gosnell Park, man, that used to be the spot, man. That was legendary.
Okay. Go ahead, Will.
So look, man, you transition, you go to Bethel first, where you played 2 sports, but I'm intrigued by this, man. I mean, I know you had a great couple seasons at Bethel, but you followed the great Ronald Curry, man. What kind of pressure was that, bro? Like,
good question.
Coming behind him, man. Like you. I mean, you go to Hampton, bro, and I know you. I mean, obviously, you know Ronald Curry did at Hampton, but
yeah,
what was that like, bro? Just following the legend and Ronald Curry going to Hampton, knowing he was just the man throughout the country.
And look, before you answer that, Marques, he went straight for my question because I was gonna kind of hold back. He went straight in, man. No, you good. No, that means that we on the same page. So no,
yes, sir.
Right ahead, man.
It's all good, man. Out. I get it all the time, and coming behind, Ron, like you would never know he was the best player in the country in both sports. Arguably, was Gatorade Player of the Year in football and basketball. But how he carried himself, like you would have never known it, unless you were, paying attention to the newspaper articles and stuff. And so Ron was a humble dude, and he kind of took me underneath his wing, and I kind of watched how he did things. And so once he left, the biggest thing was never to be like him, just play my game, and do what works for me, and hopefully, the legacy would continue of the Crabber legacy. And so I got around some really good guys. Like we had some really good leadership. Guys that, were older than me, Muffin, Jerry Green.
You're talking some names there, boy.
Journey, like just a bunch of really good players.
Raymond Mann was there too, right?
Man, yeah. Those guys became my teammates at UVA. Yep. Just, we just kind of gelled. And so I really never felt any pressure to be him. I just wanted to be me. And, I had an older cousin, Myron Newsom, who had played at Hampton before me. And he kind of sat me down. He was like, look, bro, just be you, man. And if it ain't good enough, it ain't good enough. But don't go down trying to be somebody else. Have fun, be you. You were built for it, and just go make it happen. And that's what I took and I ran with. He was number 5 at Hampton, and I wanted to be number 5. So that's where number 5 came from. And so upholding a tradition, like my mom played at Hampton, my aunts played at Hampton. I had another cousin, James Wilson, who went to Tennessee, who played at Hampton, then Myron Newsom. Then it was me. It was just my time to do my part and carry on the legacy. So as much as it was to play behind Ron, it was also to carry on the tradition that my family had set before me. And so that was something that was important to me too. And along the way, we had some fun and we won some games and, we got another ring. So I do, man. I owe Ron a lot because he taught me a lot. But also, man, I had really good teammates that helped support me and kind of made the transition easy. I wouldn't say easy, but seamless, and gave me a chance to be me. They didn't try to make me be something I wasn't. And it led us to success in another state championship.
Man, that what you did, you thinking about coming behind, like Ruby said, you coming behind Ronald Curry, man. And then it's like, when you in that area like Hampton, and everybody talks about, it's like expectation is always championship. Did you go in with that same mindset as well? I know you said that you didn't want to do what Ronald did, but it's always championship or bust. Am I correct about that?
Nah, the expectation is to win state championships. And I'd be lying if I was like, man, we got to win a state championship. In my mind, I was like, man, I just got to get off to being 1-0. Like, that was my first.
Okay.
Let's just win one. So, we can settle. Like, Ron is gone. We all right. Like, that was just my whole thing. Like, I didn't care if it was 13-14, 3-0. Like, man, just win your first game. And then we can go from there. And so the first game that Ron left, actually, Alfonso Gunner started the first game. We played Heritage. We lost in 5 overtimes. And so he was starting at quarterback, and we kind of went back and forth. I was playing receiver. And then the next week, coach was like, man, I'm putting you at quarterback. And then from there on, like, I started from then on out. And I knew Fonzo was my guy. Like, we played AAU together. So it wasn't like a big beef or anything like that. It just coach made the choice. And once we got going, man, it was just from then on, we didn't look back. And so I'd be lying if I was like, yeah, I'm going to win the state championship. And my whole goal this summer was just get the first game, just win the first game, and then we'll go from there. And once we got that first one underneath our belt, then the rest, it just kind of rolled from there and just kind of, fell in place, and we kind of gelled really quickly. And it was a fun season, man. It was a fun season.
Hey, before you move on, man, just for people that didn't live in this area when Ronald was there, I know you were at Bethel at the time, but what was Hampton like, man? Not even Hampton, just the whole 7-5. When Ronald was, ESPN coming, the dunk contest was at Hampton. The McDonald's game, which I went to, was at the Scope. Man, what was that like, man? Just experiencing all that.
So that was crazy. So my ninth grade year, I was at Bethel. And then my 10th grade year, I moved to Hampton. And so my 10th grade year was when they came to the Scope, when they came to Hampton High for the dunk contest, was actually the dunk contest was actually the same night we got our rings. And so we were at the Coliseum, and then we left the ring ceremony early to get to the dunk contest. And it's funny because my aunt has this picture from it's like me, Bobby Blizzard, and then it's the dude Neil Everett from ESPN. He was working the game, and so I was like, damn, I see that dude on TV all the time. So it was just a wild night, man. There was so many good players in that game,
man.
And it was like, I don't think people understood the magnitude of us having that dunk contest of all the best high school players in the country at Hampton High, like in our hometown. Like they brought everybody to the 757. Like we took them to Chicken C and got them chicken sandwiches and stuff.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what's up right there, bro.
We
the best chicken sandwiches on the land, son. For real.
Everybody not have a Chicken C in the hood.
My God, bro. We giving them a free promotion. The best chicken sandwich ever.
Man, let me tell you something. Every time in college, I came home and I brought some of my teammates. That's the first place we stopped. 722-2728. Call Chicken, put the order in. 2 big chips, extra sauce.
My man know the number.
I know the number by heart. Like that is my place.
Oh my God, that's what's up, bro. That's what's up.
Shout out to Chicken C.
Chicken C.
Knowing the phone number, yo.
You cannot beat that, man. I took my kids home, man. They love it, man. So it was a cool vibe, man. I think that Ron had the city on smash, man. Like everybody was gravitating to 757. He brought the whole world to 757 during his time, and I think it put a lot of people on notice that there was a lot of good athletes down there. So you got to shout out Ron, man. He did it big. There were a lot of great athletes that came before him, but I think the notoriety that he brought at that time, when social media were giving outlets to more opportunities for guys in high school. I think it really allowed him to put Hampton on the map, and that's kind of where it started to become a national thing. He was responsible for that, so you got to shout out Ron for that.
Definitely shout out to Ron for that. Ronald Courage, that's a shout out to you and that whole Hampton thing you got going on there.
Yeah, I see what I got behind me, right? I got the Ronald Curry basketball jersey right there. So
there we go.
Represent.
That's my 10th grade year.
Man. That's man. Listen, man. Like you said, he was humble though, man. He was a good laid back dude. He still is that way. Yeah, like he don't even like talking about himself. You know what I mean?
He the new quarterbacks coach in the world. I'm excited for him, man.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, shout out to Ronald Curry, man. Definitely for that.
Great dude, man. One of the most humble dudes you'll ever meet, man. So, yeah, he taught me a lot. Wasn't flashy.
No.
Just a simple dude, man, and loved playing sports, man. Loved his teammates. Like he was a really good teammate too, man.
He did.
And you would really think with somebody with that personality, you would think, I mean to cut across you, I'm sorry. You would think somebody with that personality, you would just think that he would probably been larger than life, because we used to rush down to his games here, and we always in Richmond. So the talk was always Ronald Curry.
Man, I'm telling you, like if we were out like 20 deep, like you wouldn't even know he was in the crowd, man. He was really like laid back, really didn't hang out a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like he kind of kept to himself, as far as like when it was like nightlife and stuff. Like he was a simple dude, man. Really, really good teammate, man. So I'm happy for him, man. And I do think if he didn't have those injuries when he first got to college,
right,
I think they would have seen another player. And I think people underestimate too how hard it is to be at your prime in football in college and then go play basketball. That's not easy. Like it was easier for Julius Peppers because he was so big. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But to go from quarterback to be a point guard, that's two whole different body types.
It's tough.
That's a lot on your body, man. So just his ability to be able to do it like Charlie Ward or McNabb, I don't think people give him enough credit. And I think those injuries, kind of derailed his career a little bit early. But if they did, man, he's one of the best football players I've ever seen in my life. So
I'm telling you, man.
I give
Facts all day of that.
I'm telling you, dude. Like Larry said, I was at ODU at the time, and I just kept hearing about who is it? Ronald Curry. Who's this guy? I came over across the tunnel, man. I got there. We probably didn't stay more than 20 minutes because he returned a punt and made interception, pick 6, and it was like, okay, he legit. You know what I mean? And then basketball, he won a state title. So listen, man, and I'm happy for him because he's humble. He never forgot where he came from. I saw an interview recently where he's praising his teammates. You know, it's just a great thing that he's still humble about it, man. And and he's doing his thing in New Orleans. Yeah,
it was, man. And watch him and Vic at the same time, man. That's
hey, look, before you say, hey, I want everybody, if anybody watching this, the 98 All-Star game at Darling Stadium when you have Vic and, oh my God, listen. Come on, man. 7'5".
I can only imagine.
7'5", bro.
Look, we up here at 804. It is no doubt that the real people up here, we know, we always salute y'all, man, because it was always us running down 64. It was what it is. We like, okay, we gonna get it this year, but for whatever reason, we could never get over the hump to beat any of y'all teams when it mattered. I mean, it won't that we won't good. It was just.
But look, we
do. We got ballers, but we just
got ballers. But that's what I'm saying, Larry. Let me, hey, Marques, what you think it was, man? Like, I always ask people, and nobody can really give me an answer because nobody really knows. But what was it about the 7'5" that just made the players better? Like, not better, but just great. Like, what was it about the area, man? Was it something in the water? Everybody jokes about that, but I do. Was it coaching or?
I think it's a little bit of both, and I'm like, even now as a recruiter, like there's talent everywhere. And I think Richmond has really cemented their landmark in history. You know what I'm saying? Lauren Johnson has done
a shout out to Lauren Johnson, man.
Shout out, man. He doing his thing.
I don't think there's ever been a doubt of where if there's talent. I remember my junior year, we played Huguenot. And I think it was the Virginia Union. If I remember,
that's correct.
Marques, you did your thing in that game though at Hovey Field, right? I remember that.
That was so. But I remember that game was so personal to me because
it was.
Like they were talking so much in the
and
I see Coach McPhee all the time. Like he would come up here and he's like, man, you took my state championship from me.
Yeah, buddy.
I remember that. We still run that game, man.
When you went in the paper and said you don't care who you play, you don't care if you play Hampton or if we put an all-star team together. And I said, man, you know what? I'm gonna cut that out. I'm gonna put that on the top of my bed. I'm gonna put that on. I'm gonna bring that on the bus when we go play them. And I kept it like right underneath my shoulder pads the whole time.
Because McPhee, No, and McPhee in the article said Ronald Curry not there no more. Bobby Blizzard not there no more.
Wow.
Look, I remember he said they're not, and then which I beat him like 35. It was a blowout, basically.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
They beat him down. Hagans did his thing. They beat him up.
Like I think sometimes, like I think we feel like we don't always get the credit that we deserve down in the 757. Like it's almost like they are another part of the state. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so whenever we get a chance to play Richmond, it's almost like this is the only shot that we're gonna get to prove to everybody else in the state, like we the best in the state, just like they feel the same way.
Right.
At some point, the best got to meet. And we get that when we had that opportunity, like that game was beyond personal. Like I can't tell you how personal that game was. And so I think over the years, like Richmond probably got tired of hearing about 757.
They did.
I would say they have the upper hand. Like you got to
right. You got to respect that. You do.
And Northern Virginia has players. Southwest Virginia has players. So there's players throughout this whole state. And I think when I grew up, I only really knew about us and Richmond. Like that's all I really knew. Like I wasn't exposed to teams in Woodbridge or teams down in Lynchburg. Like our spectrum never went that far.
That's right.
Our biggest competition was from us to Virginia Beach, like all the 7 cities. Like we were so busy competing against us. I mean, like each other within the 7 cities. Like we never really looked anywhere else. And then once we got a chance to play like a team from Richmond, like we want that. Like we've been waiting for this all year to play a team from Richmond. And rightfully so. Like they won some, we won some, but it was always personal because we felt like whoever won when a Richmond and a 757 team clash was really the team who owned the state. And so that was kind of like the mindset every time we played them. So that was that's just me. It was always personal when I played a team.
For sure.
That was perfectly said, bro. I couldn't disagree more. Go ahead.
No. I totally agree with that, and it's been, and I know you've been on Twitter and texting and all that about the debate on what area is better. I mean, you know, we got 7-5. I say we, like I'm from here, but the 7-5-7 has always been so prideful. You know what I mean about the past, and you know, you got. I mean, the one thing the 7-5-7 can say is they got Hall of Famers, state championships, All Americans, number 1 overall picks. But it's always a debate, and I'm glad you broke it down like that, man, because you eloquently said it the
Richmond
best way
does
we
the
could
thing
say it.
too, man. Like,
Richmond, like I said, Holland Springs is a monster. And I'm sure you've been there a few times for players, you know what I mean?
They do, and you know, if I was from Richmond, I'd probably feel the same way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, 7-5-7. But I'm born and raised where I am, and I take pride in that. But I also, like, once we get outside of the 7-5-7 and we go off to different places, like, I'm the biggest fan of anybody coming from the state of Virginia. I don't care
for sure.
Where do you come from? You know what I'm saying? I love to see our people from our state like succeed. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's right. I think it should be that way versus 7-5-7 versus everybody. The way it is now, everybody should support the state.
It makes it good for the competition.
It does.
Right.
It does.
Once you become like something bigger than that, like outside of that, it's cool to see other dudes support each other too, man. Like you look up and like, oh, he from Virginia?
Yeah, he from Virginia. Oh, yeah, I support him. Yeah, I support him. Right.
From 434, 804.
Yep.
You know, 7-5-7, wherever they from, like you feel like that's a part of you. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm always a big fan of everybody from Virginia. I just personally.
Your heart. Yeah. I mean, listen, like, I've been here since what? And I went to school 90. I mean, I've been here almost 20 years, and I'm just saying, like, per capita, I will put this area up against anybody in the country. Like,
absolutely.
I mean, listen, we talk about Alonzo, Bruce Smith, Chuck, Rutland, Marques Hagans, all these. I mean, I can go on. Tyrod, Percy Harvin.
And then that don't even count baseball.
That don't even count baseball. The Upton brothers, you know what I'm saying? David Wright, you know what I mean? Like all these guys, Kadaya, Wayne Gomes, all these.
Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Sweet Pea, I mean, stop.
Yep,
see,
exactly.
So you didn't went there.
And see, for us, like we don't really have like a big major city.
Right.
And so when people joke about us being the 7 cities, because it's almost like one city broken down into 7 parts. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't really have the same big city like a New York City or Atlanta or Miami. Like we're just 7 small cities. Right. We produce so many athletes, man.
Dude, it's like you said.
Really, the biggest attraction for us is really the military. And
that's
it. You know what I'm saying? Like when people talk about it, that's what.
And I think that attract a lot of athletes to this area. A lot of them are military families. You know what I'm saying? I
agree. That's it. Plaxico Burris. I mean, think about that.
Look, we didn't even talk about him. And then you got let's not go to music.
Taylor.
Let's not. Come on, man. Let's not go to music with Pharrell, Timbaland, Missy. Come on, man.
Teddy Riley, like you would sit here all day and you would forget people. You know what I'm
saying? Exactly.
That's the hard part. Like and anytime like I'm speaking about people from home, like I always in the interview I forgot about him. I forgot. And now it comes off as like they weren't good enough, but it's like, man, it's just so many people. And
that's why me and Larry got this podcast. We just want to focus on Virginia athletes.
That's right.
There's so many people. Like me and Larry were talking, like, dude, we can go a whole year and get all Virginia athletes.
We have so many people who would want to do it.
For sure.
And that's our main goal, man, is we want to highlight you guys, man, because you guys was people like me and Whoopi. We was in the stands watching and as fans. And I don't understand why people wouldn't want to be celebrated. I understand people like Ronald Curry that may be humble and don't want to talk about it. And I have no problem with that. But we're like, man, we celebrating you guys. This is for you. We want to just highlight you and talk about what your accomplishments be. And we appreciate it, man. You guys don't know how much when we sit up here and say, man, we say we appreciate it. We really do. Because we said, man, that guy right there, he got it, man. He got it. Man, what did that guy do? Or how did he prepare? What's that thought process, and what you just highlighted with Huguenot was perfect, man. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate that.
But look at like I was like here like 3 years ago. Lakeisha Fret was coaching here.
Oh,
I'm telling my guys like, man, y'all don't know who that is.
Tell him, Marques. Tell him, bro.
That's the first person like women's basketball.
Yes.
Like everybody would come to women's games in the fourth quarter to see the boys play. but they were there in the first quarter to watch Lakeisha Fred. People would leave first games to go to the
Tell them, man. Tell them, bro. Tell them.
I used to have this
Dawson, Shalea's Rhodes, like,
Ooh,
Shawnda Bailey, like, I mean, it just goes on.
We had Shawnda Bailey on last week. Yeah.
That, man. Like, I'm so happy for Shawnda, man. She is an amazing person, man.
Oh,
like,
that's my girl, man.
So it's like when you're watching or you're seeing people come up here, you just like, it brings back so many good memories, man.
I know it does, man. I know it does. Man.
It makes you happy. It makes you proud to be a part of 7-5. And it is no disrespect to anyone.
No, it's where you from. It's where you from.
It makes you happy and proud.
Oh, man, for sure.
Man, let me tell you something, man. We used to go to the games from 2005. We go watch Princess Anne girls. You know what they do. Shout out to Coach Donnell Dozier. Look, they got a factory over there.
They do. They really do.
Man.
Oh my God, yo.
We sit in the Siegel Center, and it's me and maybe about 2 other people, 804. We got these 2 guys that always come from the 703. Matter of fact, it's 3 guys. You remember Terrell? What was this? He played at UVA.
Terrell?
No, not David Terrell. He was a kick returner. He played with Keenan and them, I think. No.
For Virginia at UVA?
Yeah, he played at UVA. Terrell? Dominic Terrell, right? His dad and 2 other guys who come down. Zach. Exactly. Yeah, we used to always sit there. Zach used to come down, and then it was these 3 guys, these older guys from 757. They said, look, we already know what's gonna happen. 804, y'all got Petersburg. So that's all y'all gonna have.
That's it. That's all y'all got.
He said, see, we got this, and this. He said, we gonna guarantee to get a championship tonight. So y'all
somebody winning. Yeah.
He said 703, I don't know what y'all gonna get. So y'all, he said, y'all gonna win Division 6. Y'all might win that because y'all, in football, basketball, y'all can have that. He said, but when it's here, he said, Petersburg come here all the time. He said, but what happened? He said, 7, 5, 7. We just run it, y'all. And we sit there, and we turn around and do like this to them.
For real.
All the time. We can't win.
No, listen, it's so much pride in this area. I've been down here so long. It's just pride, man. It's just like, it's hard to explain it. Like, I'm not even from this area, but everybody down here just got so much pride from where they from, bro. And I love it. I love it because dudes like you, Tyrod, and everybody else come back home and they always represent where they from. I just love it, man. They just great. The greats come back, bro. And it's
important that we all stay connected. We all
I love it. I love it, man. I love it.
About, man.
And I remember, and that's too that y'all say that because see, Marques, one of your teammates, the only 2 the town I remember 703 ever doing something is when C.D. Hilton was running things with Ahmad Brooks.
Oh yeah, Ahmad Brooks.
Yeah. When Verona had him, oh my God.
Oh man, Verona had that championship.
Verona had him twice.
Yeah.
Verona and Henrico.
Ahmad Brooks by far. Probably the best.
Don't get me started, man. That guy was a beast.
I literally just saw him a couple weeks ago. He came back up to UVA. So
he did.
Really?
That's my dog, man. He was gifted, man. He was different. Best players that I've ever seen. One was from Northern Virginia, was Ahmad Brooks.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Second, I'll be honest, in basketball.
Okay.
He was from Richmond, right? He made me understand why I was going to have to play football because he was that good.
Who was that?
Jonathan Hargett. I've never seen in person.
Tell him, Hagans. Tell him.
Another basketball player as good as
Yo, listen. Thank you for saying that.
The greatest I've seen in person.
In person, well, yeah. Hargett, man. Hargett was a problem, bro. Hargett was a problem.
If you had to play him and your mom was in the stands,
don't do it.
You better hope you can score 60, because if not, it's gonna be a long day for you, man. Every time
I don't even think Lancaster called any plays for him. He just gave him the ball and said, "Hey,
just give him the ball."
He was that good, man.
Every
time we played Richmond Metro and AU, I'll be like, God almighty.
Yeah,
he was the guy.
I'm not checking him today, man. I'm not.
Hargett.
He really made me go to football. I realized, like, no matter how hard I worked.
You heard that here, baby. You heard that here.
I was not gonna be better than him, so I was like, man, go to football, bro. Go to football. So, there was a time though, like in that circuit of mine, like when I was coming up, it was Jonathan Hargett, it was Timmy Smith. Brian Randall was a really good basketball
Timmy
player.
Smith from Denby? Oh my God, that dude, that left.
And Cliff Hawkins from
Yeah. He was on Northern Virginia. Northern Virginia.
Yeah, I remember him.
Kentucky. He went to Kentucky. Yeah.
My constant circle, like every summer. Like if it wasn't,
You had to deal with all of them. You had to deal with all of them.
Oh my! Every summer.
Shout out
every
all
summer,
those guys, man.
They were all.
But look, like I said before, man, don't sleep on Marques Hagans basketball game. I'm gonna put some video. I'm gonna run. You know what I'm gonna do, Marcus? I'm gonna run what they call in the industry. I'm gonna call B-roll. We're gonna run B-roll on this interview. Have you balling? Because I want people to know, bro. You had a little game in basketball too, bro.
Yeah, I heard you was nice, man.
He was nice.
Like I originally signed to go to Indiana to play football and basketball.
See?
Really?
Yeah, I did.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna get that. But look, real quick, man. What was it like playing for Mike, the legendary Mike Smith, man? Like I got a chance to really let me just say this first. Like, I thought this guy was arrogant and standoffish, and I got a chance to really get to know him a few years ago. My man is so cool and down to earth, man. Like, what was it like playing for a coach like Mike Smith, who just coached so many great players? I mean, he coached Dwight Stevenson, Chris Hamburger, Tyrod, Ronald Curry, the list goes on and on. What was it like playing for a coach like that, man, in high school?
Man, honestly, I owe Coach everything because I wasn't playing football after 7th grade. So 8th grade, 9th grade, like I wasn't playing football at all. And in 10th grade, when I moved into my grandmother's house, he told me to come up to Hampton and just, meet with him. So me, my mom, my uncle, and then Coach Smith and Coach Mann, they met us in at Hampton, and he was like, man, just come out for like a couple days. Just come out for 2 days. He said, just come out for 2 days. If you don't like it, then just go home and don't come back. So came out there, fell in love with it. Ron was actually one of the people who helped talk me into football too. And he was like, man, I used to watch you play when you were little. And so I was like, what? So, I was like, all right. So, made the connection, fell in love with it. And once I got a chance to play, like really play for Coach, like there is an outside, stigma of like who people think he is.
Right,
man,
for sure.
That dude will give you the shirt off his back. And
that's what I'm telling you, man.
When you earn his approval, because he's tough, like he's a tough coach. Like all those coaches, Coach Mann, rest in peace, Coach Mitchell.
Yes, sir.
Coach Smith, like they coach you hard, man. But
they do.
They ask you every day, like, how your granddad doing? How your grandma doing? How your mom doing? Like they genuinely like love you. Coach Mann was an art teacher in school. Like could always stop by him. Coach, Smith was the dean of boys. You could always stop by his office, and he was so smart, man. Like he was so smart as a coach, but so smart. He is smart. I'm talking like he ain't here no more. But man, just how much he cared. I think that's what stood out the most. Like he would coach me hard, man. Like every little detail, he would be on my ass, like after the game, like and you win, he'd be like arms stretched, hug you, tell you he love you. And I mean, that's what I grew to appreciate. And I would always just smile at him once I realized like he was just yelling just for the sake of yelling, like just trying to. And once I realized that, I would always smile at him, and he would be like, "I'm trying to flush you out to motivate you." And I'm like, man. You need more. I got you. So I'm really thankful that I've been lucky, man. I played for a lot of good coaches, but
man.
Coach Smith, man, will always have a special place in my heart because I know he helped put me on the path, to continue to go for bigger and better. So I owe Coach a lot, man. That's one of my favorite people.
That's what's up, man.
And he coached,
shout out to Coach
he coached so many of my family members too, like
man.
Wilson, who went to Tennessee, and Myron, who went to
Virginia Tech. You got Daz, right? Daz getting ready to get drafted.
Tyrell Wilson, who went to Virginia Tech, and David, who went to UVA. So I mean, I got a little cousin playing there now. So I mean, it's a legacy, man, of like our family is really strong, and that's something that's important. I mean, you come over my grandma's house on Sunday. I mean, there's over 80 people there. And
oh wow.
And a 2-bedroom house, and we just eating and we cooking. It's funny because my grandmother's house is right next to my mom's oldest sister house. So the houses are right next door. So we would play football in that front yard, in the backyard. Then we would go over to Bassett, and we would come in the house, and my grandma would always say, if you ain't crying and you ain't bleeding, you ain't playing hard enough. Like she would sing you back.
Oh, just like that.
Yeah, man. We would get it in, man. They would, boy, them was some tough games. And then we used to race in the street. And so it's a lot of good memories. And Coach Smith remembers everybody in my family. And that's something that's always important. Like even now he'll call and check on me. He'll drive up to Charlottesville.
Wow, that's what's up.
He does, man. Even before like COVID hit, they would have things where they would come up to Charlottesville and vote on for like all state. And every time he call up, hey, let's go to breakfast, let's go to lunch. You know, like
that's good, man.
always
That's
calling
awesome.
to check on me, man.
That's awesome, man.
do,
That's
I
good
love
stuff, man. That's good stuff. I love to hear that, man.
Yeah, great man, great man.
Man, you got some great stories, man. And I was gonna ask you, man, how it's like 757 got that pipeline to UVA. I'm sorry, yeah, to UVA and Virginia Tech. What made you decide to alter that? Maybe jumping ahead, but what made you decide to go to UVA?
Yeah, good question. Good question.
Because that's a pipeline that y'all fighting, man, and I'm sure you experiencing that.
No, I mean, because when you were there, you had a lot, Elton Brown, a lot of guys from 7-5 were at UVA at the time when you were there.
Mm-hmm.
We did. I feel like it was both, right? Because they were going to the other school too, and so I think
that's right.
I think for me,
hey, look, y'all know, y'all notice you said the other school. hey, Larry, you heard that? The other school.
But I feel like it's funny because I grew up going to the other schools' games because of my cousin Marques, right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when I got a chance, like I wanted my own path. Like I feel like he had his own path. And I wanted my own path. And to be honest, the reason why I chose Virginia, my grandmother never watched me play at all. Never.
Okay.
She didn't want to come watch me play. She always thought if she came, she would see me get hurt.
Right.
And I had to go to Fort Union too. Like, I don't know if y'all knew, I went to Fort Union for a year.
Okay.
So, when I went to Fort Union after I graduated, you know, I called home one day. I was checking in on her, and we were talking about, you know, you still going to Indiana? I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, I'll make a promise with you. She said, if you stay in state, I'll come watch you play.
Oh, wow.
I was like, you sure? She was like, I promise. She said, if you stay in state, she said, I ain't gonna make it to Indiana. She said, but if you stay in state, I'll come watch you play. And so I already knew I wanted my own path. And so UVA was the obvious choice. And so I already had a few teammates already at UVA. And like, you know, Jared Green had an older brother named Donnie Green, who was already at UVA.
Donnie Green, I remember him. Yes, sir.
About how much fun they would have and, you know, all this other stuff. And so I was like, man, UVA is the place. And so when I went on my visit, you know, 3 of my teammates were already there, and it just felt like home. And so, you know, it was an easy choice. And then learning about the academics, you know, being close to home to my grandma. And, you know, I just felt like I was at home. I felt like it was a place I could call home. And I was 2 hours away, where I was far enough away from home and close enough to get home on Sundays to get spaghetti and bring it back up for everybody else.
Get that grub, for sure.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Hit chicken feet and then get back on the road and, you know, be ready on Monday morning. So that's kind of how I got to UVA, and I'm really grateful for it too. Man,
you're a humble guy, man. I love these stories, man. I just like, man, we could talk to you all day, man.
It's love, bro. It's genuine and it's love. Yeah, it is. It's great, it's man. Fun, I love this.
We get around each other, man. That's what it's all about, man. We all got different walks of life, but we all represent something that's bigger than all of us, man. And that's what we try to uphold.
I love it, man. That's what I heard about you, man, back in the day when I've met you, when you came on the Bob Hint show back in the day, bro. You know, remember that? Look, man, you get to UVA, man, and what was that experience like, man? You got your boys there from Hampton and other 757 guys there. Coach Groh was your coach, right, at the time? What was that whole experience like at Virginia?
It was fun. You know, Armando Curry, like, is probably one of the best leaders I've ever been around. And so who he was in high school, he was becoming in college. So he was a year ahead of me. And so he was really starting to establish himself. You know, Raymond Mann was playing. And so I just had guys that were already before me. And so, you know, just my time at UVA, you know, some of my best friends and, you know, just memories that you share for, you know, forever. And, you know, it didn't always go perfect. My first year I redshirted. My second year I got a chance to get on the field, you know, played early in the first game, then set out the next few games. So it was a little up and down roller coaster. But when I got my chance, like the following year, like my second year on the field, coach just put me everywhere, running back, quarterback. Man, I tell people all the time, like that was my favorite year because I just was everywhere. And then the next 2 years I played quarterback, you know, started quarterback. And so, you know, UVA is a special place for me. And, you know, it's funny, when you grow up in Hampton, you see the 144-mile Charlottesville. Like, I never knew UVA was in Charlottesville. You know, but you would see the sign. You would see the sign every day.
Once you get to like Newport News, you know what I mean?
It's like, I like Charlottesville, and then I'm just being honest.
No. Keep it real, brother. Keep it real, bro.
To find out, like now this is a place that I call home, that I have called home
that's what's up. That's
15, 18 years of my life. I think that's pretty, ironic that sign. Every time I leave to come from seeing my family, I think about that sign growing up as a kid. Like, man,
what's up, man.
I used to look at that sign and be like, man, what the hell is Charlottesville? And now I call it home, man. So it's pretty cool, man.
I love it, man. I love that story, man. But see, that story is indicative to one of my quotes that I picked up, and it's exposure leads to expansion. Like you exposed to Charlottesville, you found out where it was, and you expanded your mind being at Virginia. You know what I'm saying? You're at UVA. You know what I mean? So that's so dope, man. Yeah. So like you get there, and again, so real quick, you came after Ronald Curry and then Matt Schaub, another NFL quarterback, in front of you. So what was that like back? You come in after him playing quarterback, you got some stud players with you, man. What was that like coming back after him?
It was funny because my first year I redshirted. But the very next year, like he started the first game and I came in and I brought us back against Colorado State and we lost. We were on the goal line. I lost the ball. The very next game I started at quarterback against Florida State. And we went down to Tallahassee. They were they were loaded. They had Donnell Dockett.
Oh man, he had some studs, yeah.
Sure.
And when he came out on the field, I was like, God, dog. So anyway, down there, they beat us. And so the next 4 or 5 games, they couldn't really figure out what to do with me. So they said Schaub will be the starting quarterback, and you'll just back him up. So I got tired of sitting on the bench, man. And my mom and my family had came up to a game, and I tell the dudes this all the time. And we were sitting at this restaurant called the Wood Grill in Charlottesville, this big buffet, we always.
Yeah, I know about the Wood Grill. Wood Grill, nice, man.
We were sitting in the back room, and it was probably I had about 30 people from my family up here, and everybody was talking, and man, we're gonna transfer. They don't want to play them. They don't know what they're doing with them. We'll take them somewhere else. And my mom stood up and was like, "Listen, if Marques is sitting on the bench, that's his fault. And so if he can't get off the bench, that's on him. And if nothing else,
big ups to moms, bro. Big ups to moms.
Moms is tough, man. And so she said, if nothing else, he'll get a great degree. But I don't want any of y'all filling his head about negativity, talking about we're gonna transfer.
Shout out to your mom, man.
Yes,
we're gonna finish. And if he don't get off the bench, that's his fault. She said, I'm not gonna keep spending my gas money to come watch you sit on the bench.
That's right.
If you don't get off the bench, that's your fault.
I love it, man.
It changed my whole mindset, man.
Yeah, for sure.
And ironically, the next week I went in, talked to coach, gave me a role. And, we ended up winning the game off a quarterback, a trick play that we called against Wake Forest. And, I just kind of found my way, punt return, kick return, special team.
Man.
But I always
did everything.
My mom was a basketball player at VCU. And so, she was a scholarship player, but she dropped out after going into her 3rd year because she had me. So she sacrificed her career to raise me. So that was something that was always important to me, man. So she knew the game. Her and my mom's older sister, my Aunt Barb, they went to VCU together on scholarship. And so she gave her good dreams in order to have me and raise me. And she didn't want me missing out on anything. So she dropped out.
Big up to your moms for that speech, saying, look, it's his fault.
Real,
he need to work harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, family can do that, man. They come in and start filling your hand up with all types of stuff, man.
I was listening too. I was like, man, let's go somewhere.
Sure you was. Yeah.
I was like, ain't no way in hell. You're going to finish what you started. So, my mom's has always been one of my biggest fans.
That's dope, man. That's so dope, man. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
So I'm definitely appreciative of her. She don't play, man.
You know that. But shout out to Mrs. Hagans, man. Definitely.
Look, man. Look. You have a great career, Virginia, Marques, and you thinking about NFL. What are your thoughts at that point about the NFL? Are you thinking about the NFL at that point? I mean, you eventually you get drafted, but what's your mindset after your career is over at Virginia?
I mean, I really didn't know because there wasn't a market for quarterbacks under 5'11". And so Randall was making a lot of noise in Pittsburgh by doing a bunch of different stuff. But he was the blueprint of the shorter quarterback that went to receiver. He actually was the reason why I went to Indiana.
I was going to say that.
I was going to say that too. Yeah. Because Cam Cameron was your coach.
Cameron was the coach. Yeah. So, he was making a lot of headway, but I just didn't know how it was going to shake out for me because I didn't really have a lot of, I didn't have the full like portfolio at receiver / whatever. And then most of my stuff was at quarterback, which they weren't going to take me as. So it was just kind of like an up in arms. And so kind of like recruiting the kid now off film that he doesn't have. You know what I'm saying? He's played left tackle his whole career. And now you're projecting him as a defensive end, like that kind of thing. And so I ain't gonna lie, man. Like I was nervous. Like I didn't even watch the draft the first day. And then I wasn't even watching it when I got my name called, because I didn't think I was gonna get my name called. I went out to Arizona and trained out there. And my guy, man, one of my best friends, Jimmy Williams, we were out there training together. Man, he's a beast, man. And so we were out there training, and he was always just being so positive, man. Like, hey, man, it's gonna work. And I just be like, man, I don't know, man. I'm gonna just keep showing up every day and see what happens. And he would always be saying, man, they're gonna draft you. But I didn't really feel as confident as he was saying because I just didn't know. And then luckily, I got a call from Scott Linehan, and the Rams took me in the 5th round. Man. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like I always had dreams of getting drafted. I used to sit in class and sign my name, think about
That's right.
in the NFL.
That's right.
But I'd be lying on draft day if I was like, yeah, I knew I didn't, man. I was nervous. I didn't think they were gonna call my name, honestly.
And I think like like Wavy 10 or somebody was at your house, man.
Yeah, like so I didn't even show up at first because I was like,
it was at your house, man.
My husband had organized it. I was like, man, I'm not coming over there so they can show my face and me not get drafted. It would have been like I feel like Lamar Jackson, man. Like I was that just without the cameras on me. So my heart goes out when dudes are in there and they're sitting there, they don't get caught. I was like, man, that ain't happening to me. No way.
Yeah, man. Wavy 10 was at his crib waiting for him to get drafted. Man, I saw the interview and everything on Wavy 10, bro.
It did. I eventually came after once I knew I got drafted, and I was like, all right, I'll come over there.
That's how you play it. That's right.
That's how you play it.
They were over there most of the whole day.
Yeah, they were that whole day. Look, Marques wasn't there, but they were there waiting for you to come over.
My cousin, we were at my cousin Kim's house. She kept calling me like, she's like, they call me another name. Like, when you coming? I'm like, Kim, I'm not coming.
They probably call him Biscuit. That's his nickname, everybody.
They don't even call they got another name. They got another
name. Okay. Because Biscuit was his name in high school. But But look, man, I'm
not coming over there.
But look, they draft you, bro. Like, what's that feeling like when you get that phone call, man? Like being in the league, something you dreamt about your whole life, bro. Like, what's that feeling like, man?
I'd be lying, man. Like I cried, man. I just because I thought about like how hard I worked, everything I had been through, like all the sacrifices, my teammates, my friends, my family.
Absolutely.
Just so much, man. Like all to go into like you have moments that you dream about and you work so hard to make them become a reality. And then when they actually do, like there's just so much emotion and like feeling that goes into it. Like you can't even describe, and it's just overcoming. You know what I'm saying? And in that moment, I was like, wow, I'm hearing the coach talk to me, but I really ain't listening to a word he said. Like, he could have said, we're going to sign you for $10. And I'd have been like, yes, sir. I had no idea. I was just such in the moment, man. And I was also appreciative. I was beyond appreciative. And
that's awesome, man.
There's a story about me. Like when I was born, they had to use like these prongs to kind of pull me out when I was born, like a funny birth. And so the whole right side of my body was basically like paralyzed, and I was diagnosed with like Erb's palsy. And so they said I would never use the right side of my body, like from shoulder all the way down to my feet. Like I would always like walk with a limp. And so my great grandmother, who was very spiritual, and like she wouldn't have it, and she would always say like that boy gonna be special. And this is like 1982 with like medicine and all that. Nobody really knows much about that, but she just believed in her faith that I was gonna be special. And my mom and them would tell me stories about, they would be like, watch his arm or watch this, and she would be like, man, don't worry, that boy's gonna be fine. You're gonna be special. And so I'm always thankful, because my Aunt Clara, like she really saw something, that she believed in, and it came to fruition. So all those things, man, all those moments that led up to that, I was just so happy. And I can't really explain it, but emotional and very thankful.
I'm sure, man. I got a question. UVA question. What was it like playing for Al Grove? And the reason why I'm asking, man, because I'm sitting in the stands with Tracy. Tracy Carter. You know who that is.
Hey, look, Larry. Let's name drop.
You know what I'm saying? Keenan Carter. You know what I'm saying?
Big Carter. Shout out to my man Keenan.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Shout out to Keenan Carter, man. But them stands, man. Tracy sitting in the stands with I would just talk about Mr. Brooks, Mrs. Brooks, Elton Brown's people.
Elton Brown was a trip too.
Man, she was funny.
Oh,
he was my roommate, man.
She's still a trip, but that's okay. That's another story.
Man, sitting there and hearing the stories about Al Grove, man. Oh my God, I'm gonna let you do it, man, because it was so funny.
Man, Coach Grove was different, man. I'll tell you this. And my first year, I didn't think he liked us. And but he was getting acclimated from coming from dealing with guys that were getting paid to play football.
Right.
There wasn't a need for a relationship because you either got the job done or you got cut.
Absolutely.
Here, he had to learn that he was stuck with us for 3 or 4 years, we weren't getting paid.
Good point.
And so the dynamic in the relationships were a lot different because now he had to foster relationships. He had to create those conversations where in the league, you don't have to. It's like, is player A doing what he's supposed to? No, cut him. Trade him.
Yeah.
So him spending time getting to know players, he really could care less. Are they showing up and are they helping me win? And so now he kind of had that same approach when he first got to college. And then after that first year and a half, I think he started to realize like I gotta have more of a personal relationship with these kids, as opposed to the business side of working with grown men. He's dealing with guys that got 3 kids, married, getting paid millions of dollars, and then he come to us and we getting $80 a month to get groceries. We just trying to rub 2 nickels together to survive. That's
tell him.
When dudes used to put money together to get value meals, like you got $2, I got $2. Yeah,
man, we gotta talk about that too, Marcus.
Let's get 20. That's
a whole other issue.
And then you pour half the fries in one box and half the fries in the other box.
See, he preaching to y'all, man.
1 drink and 2 cups, and y'all split it. Like that's what we was doing, man. And so, and I think he learned that we were kids, and we were learning the game, but we weren't professionals. And I think once he understood that, I think he was able to have a better relationship. And our team took off. Like our first year, we won like 4 games, maybe 3. Next year we won like 8 or 9, and then we went back to back bowl games. And our teams became closer, and we created better relationships with our coaches.
That's a great assessment. It was a matter of
just learning that he had to create those relationships. I mean, shit, man, coach. I talk to coach like once every 2 weeks, man. Like that's my guy. Like I love
really?
Him. That's my guy, man. So I do anything for him. Him and Coach Smith are very similar.
Oh, really?
Like tough on you, tough on you, but inside the circle, inside their circle, like if you're in that circle, man, they'll do anything in the world for you. And I bet you if you ask dudes along the way, like they would say like, yeah, both of those guys are tough, but once you're in their circle, like they'll do anything in the world for you. Like Coach Grove, like when my pops just passed away not too long ago, like Coach Grove was the first person that called me and sent like flowers and stuff.
That's
right, man. Yeah, sorry for your loss too, man. I remember seeing that on Twitter.
I appreciate that.
No, but listen, rest in peace to your pops, man. Eating Eagles representing, bro.
Man, he loved me, man. That was
no. My daughter was there, and he was always in there, man. And funny story, real quick before you go on, like he always wore this UVA stuff, man. Yeah. And this is a serious story. I never knew he was your dad, so. He walked around. I said, Mr. Hagans, why y'all? And I didn't connect the Hagans. I don't know why I didn't. I never connect Hagans. I said, why you always wearing this UVA stuff, Mr. Hagans? Why you? Come on, man. He said, man, my son played for UVA. I said, who's your son? Didn't even think about it. Me being dumb.
Wow.
He said, man, my son played at UVA. I said, who's your son? Mark. I said, Mark is my guy, bro. What's up? He said, yeah, that's my son. I said, man, I did not know. Ever since then, he treated my daughter. He always took care of my daughter eating, man. My daughter went to eating.
Man, he would always
That's
come
my guy, bro.
My apartment, man, be like, oh man, I forgot my coat, and just always take stuff off my closet. Man. Always taking my stuff, man. So
that's my guy, bro. That's my guy. Always took care. Listen, always took care of my daughter eating. Once he found out I knew who you were, bro, and once I knew you, my daughter was good, bro.
He loves sports. He loved coaching girls too, man. Like
he did.
He coached so many dudes like when I was growing up that turned out to be good football players and basketball players. But as he got older, man, like he just had a passion for coaching girls basketball, man. And whether it was at Bethel, whether it was at Eaton, he just loved coaching the girl. I think he coached at Menchville for like a year or two.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yep.
He just loved coaching, man. But I was telling my mom. I just remember when we were growing up, man, he would sit in that recliner and just watch. He would have his yellow notepad and he would just draw plays just for the hell of it. He was addicted to sports.
Listen, man. Everybody listening, man. Coach Hagans was the guy, bro. Like, seriously. And I always respect him for that. He says, man, that's your daughter right there? I said, yeah. He said, I'm going to take care of her for the next 3 years.
He meant it too, man. He did.
No, seriously. Once he found out that I knew you, it was over. Yeah. I said, all right, I don't got to come up here no more. I'm good. I know you got her, man.
It was cool because y'all know Daryl Blackstock?
Yes, sir.
I was going to mention him. I want to mention him. Daryl Blackstock, Kyle Powell.
Yeah, all of them guys. Kyle Powell from Princess Anne. Yeah.
Jason Cook, so Blackstock, he would always talk about Blackstock because he's like, man, I got this kid, man, I think gonna be special.
It's a heritage, right?
Yeah, heritage. Yeah. Blackstock started off the tight end on his JV team, and then he would always talk about Jason Cook. And so at the funeral, I asked Blackstock to say a few words because I knew how much my dad meant to him and how much my dad loved him. And it was so cool, man, to see how much of an impact. And like Blackstock, I'm not putting him on blast. I don't want to,
No, you good.
The way he spoke, the emotion that he shared, like, man, that meant more to me than anything. Like that was the strength that, like, man, I'm gonna be able to get through this. When I saw that,
yes, sir.
So like when you have people in your community that have an impact on kids that they aren't necessarily responsible for,
preach,
like,
bro.
That's
preach.
a huge thing,
yes, sir.
man. So
yes, it is, man.
To know like my dad impacted that many people, man, like that was awesome.
Is, man.
So,
he was great, man.
I appreciate him coming down there.
No, man. Listen, man. Your dad was my guy, bro.
Everybody love that dude, man. No matter.
No, man, for real, man. Like once I found out once he found out who I was good after that. Every time I saw him, man, he took care of me, man. Like, he was amazing, bro. He was a man.
Everybody, man. The people that I met at
listen, man. Coach, I call him Coach from now on. I didn't even know his first name. I just call him Coach. I just call him Coach. Yeah, man. That's my guy, bro. That's my guy. So look, man,
they're watching some football right
now. Yeah, man. So you get drafted, Marques, and then you play 4 years in the league. So what's your mindset after that? You got 4 years in the league. What are you thinking about after your 4 years in the NFL?
Man, I'd be lying, man. Like, I was hurt. Like, so I tore my groin my last year in Washington, and like, for all my life, like, it's been sports. If it ain't football, it's basketball. If it ain't basketball, it's baseball. And normally they all just. So for the first time in my life, like, I was without sports, and so I wouldn't say like that was everything of who I was, but that was everything of what I committed to. And so for the first time, the game no longer needed me. And so I didn't know where to turn. So there was a period of time for probably, I would say, like 6 to 8 months. Like, I was just depressed, man. Like, I didn't want to watch football. I didn't want to do anything affiliated with football. I didn't want to watch sports. I just wanted to be by myself. And, it was a dark time because I had a degree from UVA, but I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And so I didn't know what else I was good at.
Right, right. Good point.
In high school, I would play on Friday nights and I would put carpet in with my granddad on Saturday, but I didn't want to do that. And his whole thing of teaching me how to lay carpet was just so I would know the value of hard work. So he told me, he's like, you're not coming back to work for me or with me. Like, this is not why I'm teaching you this trade, is so you know the value of hard work. Right. So I just didn't really have many options of what I wanted to do. And so I was living in New York at the time with my wife. We weren't married yet. And so just trying to figure it out. And so we were living in the Bronx, and she was working she was working at the school. And I walked up there one day to take her something, and there was a kid there that was actually getting ready to play baseball at UVA, and he had to lose weight, and he needed to work out. And so he asked me if I would work him out or work out with him, help him lose weight. And so I went from playing in the league at like 191. I probably was like 245. Like, just just bad habits, just eating terrible. Like, I was in a bad place, and I tell people this because every story isn't all like the yellow brick road and all
Right.
That's why we want to hear it.
And so
Yes,
I tell these guys this as my story. And so that allowed me to get back into doing something for someone else. And in the process, like I refound who I was, and it was able to create identity that wasn't associated with me as a player anymore. It was as a person who was doing something to help someone else. And so in that process, like I lost the weight, and within that process, Coach London was the one who called me. Coach London called me 3 times and was like, I want you to come be a graduate assistant. I was like, nah, Coach, I don't want to. He's like, I want you to come be a graduate assistant. I was like, nah, Coach, I don't want to. And the third time, he's like, listen, I will drive
telling
over there
you,
and
I'm
get you
telling you to
myself.
come on. Yeah.
So you can come down or I can come get you. I said,
Yeah.
all right, Coach. He said, just give it 3 days. If you don't like it, kind of like Coach Smith did. So if you don't like it, go back to New York. I won't bother you again. And I came down to UVA on the weekend. I kind of, hung around the players a little bit. And I mean, I looked up, it was 3 weeks. And he was like, you want to go back home? And I was like, nah, Coach, I want to keep coaching.
You like it.
And
Yeah.
That's kind of how I got back into it. But, I think so many times, like a lot of these young players, like their identity is wrapped up in what they do.
Tell them,
And
Coach. Tell them.
both. They got to run parallel.
Tell them, Coach. Tell them.
It sounds funny, but it's almost like a superhero. Like,
nah, man. Preach to him, Coach. Preach to him.
Bruce Wayne is the person. Batman is who he becomes.
Yes, sir.
Clark Kent is the person. Superman is who he becomes.
Tell him, Coach.
Football is what you do. It's not who you are. And so
tell him.
whenever kids come in now, like I ask them, like, what do you like to do outside of football? Like, what makes you happy? What do you like to do away from football? So at least you can identify those things and start working towards those things while you become the best football player that you can possibly be.
Tell him, man. Tell him,
At some point, football is going to stop for everybody.
Yes,
right?
sir.
That's right.
Dion doesn't play. Vic doesn't play. Barry Sanders doesn't play. The list goes on and on. The football is going to stop, or any sport is going to stop for whoever that individual is at some point. The biggest problem that I think within just in professional sports, as far as college, I'll say college and professional football. I can't really speak for basketball and baseball because I don't know those worlds. But in football, the biggest reason that guys suffer or struggle when they are no longer playing is A, because they don't get closure, and then B, they don't have anything to transition into. So a lot of these issues that are arising with a lot of people are stemming from them not being able to fulfill that opportunity to bridge the gap.
Yes,
so
sir.
if there's nothing, then that's a hole that allows for so much negativity, so much depression, so much overwhelming like anxiety and just emotion that you can't understand. Like you can't control emotions that you don't understand. And so I try to, because you try to give guys examples. Like just imagine dating someone for 18 years, right? You with someone for 18 years. And then you just wake up one morning and then there's a note that says, I never want to see you again. No, I'm serious.
No,
like,
you're right. You're right.
You can't call them. You can't text them.
It's
and
done.
At the end of the day, when you break up with somebody, you just want to know why. Like, what did I do? Like you see people's first question when it doesn't go right. Well, what did I do? Like, why did we go wrong? And most of the time people just want information so they can have closure. Right. Football doesn't always provide that closure. And so when you don't get, like you notice, right, in the NBA, there's farewell tours. They go around. You don't get that in the NFL. Like
you sure don't.
You get a farewell tour in the NFL, right? And so when football abruptly ends, and if there's nothing to supplement what's next, that bridge, man, is broken. And that's where all the negative things like fall into place and are able to overcome any normal person. Because you don't know how to manage the emotions that you don't understand. And just like, I mean, there's so many different ways this can go, right? Just like, you talk about, expressing like what you really feel, right? So when you say like men aren't supposed to cry or this, that, and the third, like those are weak emotions. Right. Those are also real emotions, right? And the more you harbor these things that you think you aren't supposed to address or understand or find out how to navigate, it suppresses you, man. And so many negative things can happen. And so that's kind of what happened to me. And I tell the guys that all the time because I don't want them to make that same mistake. I don't want 6 to 8 months to go by where you just depressed and you just don't know what to do. And many more guys go through it than actually speak about it. I'm just not afraid to share it because I'm not afraid to expose what I went through if it'll help save someone else.
Yeah,
absolutely. So at one point I was embarrassed, but I'm not anymore because I feel like
man, listen,
if I can share my story, it can help somebody, and hopefully,
listen, man,
going down the same road.
I follow you on Twitter, man. I see everybody that you inspire. You inspire so many guys, bro. Like so many people.
Appreciate that.
Look up to you, bro. And that's why it was so intriguing to get you on, because I know that people look up to you. You got a lot of guys looking at you. I mean, you're coaching at Virginia, your alma mater. And what was that like when you finally got promoted to wide receiver coach at Virginia?
That was a fun thing, man. And, like I said, I never thought I would be a coach. I watched my dad coach his whole life. And I was like, man, I ain't gonna ever be a coach. And it's funny, like some of the things you say you'll never do is some of the things you ultimately end up doing. Mm-hmm. And so, now to be a coach, and, I tell people all the time, like my dream was to make it to the NFL. Now I'm fulfilling my purpose. And that feels it has more of a gratifying feeling than fulfilling my dream, fulfilling my purpose. And that's helping other people. And so helping, every kid that I can that says they want to play for UVA, whether they go to the NFL or not, I help them become the best version of themselves.
Exactly.
My wife has this big stand that we're really big in on our house, and we believe in paying it forward. And that's just basically saying we'll do everything we can to help people with no expectation of anything in return. And that's just how we live our life. And, we jokingly just, like we got it from the rap song, but one hand washes the other, both hands wash the face. And we will continue to live our life helping people. And I'm happy at UVA, man. Like I could coach here forever as long as they'll have me. It's not about the money. It's just this place is different. It's allowed me to meet my wife. It's allowed me to meet my best friends. My kids are happy going to school here. I'm 2 hours away from home. She's 4 hours away from Philly. Very rarely in life do you get a chance to do what you love with people and get paid for it. So, it's not about what's next. It's about what's now, and I'm happy where I am. Doesn't mean I'm content, but I'm happy, and that's hard to find in this life. So, just doing it as long as I'm able. That's part of fulfilling my purpose.
I got a question about that too. You mentioned about UVA, you being happy, man. I'm glad that you say that, because there is, there's always been talk about why the alumni players in all sports, they don't gravitate to come back to UVA like other schools. I don't know if you have experienced it or even you even paid attention to that. But if you do know that, if that's something that you know about, what's your take on that? Why is that?
That guys don't come back?
Yeah, a lot of people like they always talk about how Miami is always Miami. It's in North Carolina, you got the Dukes, and all these other schools. Yeah, always talk about the alumni, no matter what school it is, Kentucky or whatever. But for whatever reason, it's like people don't go back to UVA, and that's what you hear people talk about. I don't personally know that, but I've heard it. But and I don't know if you experienced that, but if you have experiences or know that, can you give me some input on that? Give us some input on that.
No,
you just have a drink.
I would probably say that we're just probably not as outlandish as some universities. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but listen, man, when COVID is done, you come back for Black Alumni Weekend and you tell me what you think. And so
look, spring fling, bro. Spring fling.
You come back, winter ball. Like there's a list and list.
Spring fling. I used to come back for that all the time.
when I came up for Black Alumni Weekend, I thought UVA was an HBCU for a second.
Me too. Me too.
But I think that the culture is different as far as like, I mean, you think about like Miami, like that's an outlandish place. That's
right.
Like that is who they are. Like they are very, out front about being from the U. I think people are very proud and prideful about being from Virginia. I just don't think you hear about it as much because there aren't as many people outspoken about UVA. Like you'll say like, oh, I didn't know he went to UVA. Whereas opposed to and I'm not knocking any school, but you know somebody is from the U because they want you to know, like, man, I went to Miami.
Right.
Or a dude might just be in conversation and you'd be like, well, where you go to school? UVA. Like, oh, but if you didn't ask them, you would never know. Right, I think people are just different in how they represent their university. But I do think people come back. I do think it's been more of an effort to get even more people back because we have so many different like eras of good players. And so now I do feel like people are starting to come back more. And I think Coach Mendenhall has done a really good job when we first got here, like just creating a weekend just for football. So like now we have a cookout, we have the spring game or practice. We've set up like these alumni networks where guys that are in different professions now can have their own tables to connect with the guys that are in school now. So if there's an avenue that they want to go down, like they make those connections earlier. So I think coaches made a conservative effort to really get guys to come back. And then I think our AD, Carla Williams, has done a really good job of creating a better home atmosphere of where guys feel more welcome to come back and enjoy the game and not be brought back on the basis of just donating or, wanting them to help build something. It's like, just come back and enjoy where you enjoyed your life, where you such college experience. And I think that has now created more momentum. And I think more guys are starting to come back. And I think it's pretty cool to see. And, COVID kind of put a hold on that, but I think it's building back up where more guys are coming back. It's a fun thing to see. I just don't think we're as outgoing about coming back as some other schools. And that doesn't mean right or wrong. I just think guys are just more laid back about promoting our university.
And that's a great point because y'all, your sports alumni network alone, man. I mean, you talk about 757. I mean, you can go to UVA and start listing stuff. Like I said, you'll forget. I mean, on this show, I mean, we're balling in VA. And like I said, we got our little 67 listeners or whatever, stuff like that. I'm just playing. But we have more UVA people on here than
we do.
Anybody.
And think about Richmond.
Anna Perlman. I mean, we got,
AP was here when I was in school.
Man. Anna Perlman can ball. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like that connection of people at UVA is strong. From here to Richmond to Northern Virginia to Southwest Virginia. I mean, you think about it. You just start naming like Thomas Jones, Tiki Barber, Herman Moore, Sean Moore, James
Hey, Marcus, tell him about Womack, baby.
Antoine Womack. God,
oh my God.
Best running back I seen. I'm not taking anything away from Thomas Jones.
No, nothing.
But Womack, God.
Womack was a beast, bro.
Man, I'm telling you, he might be the best. And then the guys from Northern Virginia, Brooks and Keenan Carter's, your Marques Hamilton's, like it just goes on and on. The black stuff,
right?
So I think there's a much bigger sense of family and community than what gets put out in the media and the public. I mean, shit. How can the hell I forget about him?
Oh,
exactly. Oh my God. Oh man,
I forgot about him.
Heath Miller, Chris Long. I mean, it just who else, man? Like I said, I'm gonna get off here and then somebody gonna text
Thomas Jones from Big Stone Gap, Big Stone Gap, Virginia.
I mean, it goes.
Terry Kirby,
Terry Kirby from the crib,
Jamie Sharper, like it's just so many people.
Hermitage,
it just goes on and on, man. So. I think I'm grateful to be a part of this family. I just don't think it's just broadcast as much.
That is true. You think about it. You sit there, you're like, damn, you're right. You don't think about it.
So many.
You start listening. I'm sitting here like, man, I'm running out of space, man. Like,
man, so many people. It's so many people.
And think about like even the other school, like there's more to people that went to the other school than just Vic. Like this.
Right. I love how it's just the other school though. That's so dope. It's so dope, man. That's so dope.
In all honesty, man, like those man.
But see, and that's the thing. But that's the thing though. The other school got so many recruits, and it was a problem about why Virginia not getting those recruits, and they were getting the guys.
Yeah.
And the UVA got you, Elton Brown, Donnie Mann. I mean, it was hurt. Oh, don't forget about Brooks. Aaron Brooks was going. You know what I'm saying? They got so don't get it twisted.
And like I said, like shit, my best friend was Jimmy Williams. He was at the other school. Like only 60 minutes. We ain't like each other, and after the game, our moms hugging each other because we thinking that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's all love, man. Like I honestly, I don't have any hate.
But look. No, you're right. You're right.
I love it. I mean, you got Michigan. I mean, Ohio State called the school up north. They don't say that. You know what I'm saying?
They don't say the name. They never say the name. Never. But look, I know you. Look, man, we're gonna wrap it up here pretty soon. But I want you to reflect, man. Like a kid from the 7-5 Hampton, Virginia, man. You made it to the Virginia. Went to the league. Now you back at your alma mater, man. Just think about. I know when you playing and you coaching. You don't have time to really reflect on your life, man. But just this is a time for you to reflect. Marques, man, on your life and your legacy and what you're doing for the community. Just talk about that, bro. Like you giving back, you start where you started at and where you at now, man.
I mean, I think to reflect on my life, like I gotta reflect on the people who helped me get here. And that's so many people.
Powerful,
And
powerful.
Man, I know but it starts in the home, and I was fortunate enough to have two good parents. My mom has 8 sisters and 2 brothers, so that immediately gives you a big family.
Yes, sir.
Growing up, I idolized my grandparents. Like I said, I would put in carpet on Saturday mornings after I balled out Friday night. So I always understood the value of hard work.
Yes, sir.
I would be reading the newspaper on the back of the truck, going to put in carpet. I mean, so many friends, and I was telling one of my players this the other day. Like there's guys behind the scene that, and this is I want them to understand something. Like sometimes people get a bad rap for who they hang around. But there were people around me that might not have made like the best choices, but they were necessary for helping me navigate through a world to get to where I am.
Tell him, Coach.
Wow.
Tell him. Explain to him, Coach. Tell him how it works, Coach. Tell him how it works.
For them to they could have pushed me this way.
Yes.
They protected me from
right.
And so there were there's certain places and certain times I could go around and thinking the world is just a nice place, but there are certain places you go and you hang out, you end up in the wrong spot.
Right.
People take advantage of that.
Tell them, man.
There were people that protected my life with their life. You know what I'm saying? And I never took that lightly. Like I never wanted to put them in a situation where they had to prove their worth or they would live up to their word. Right, just to show people like I'm protecting this dude with my life by sacrificing mine.
It's powerful, bro.
Putting myself in a position to get locked up just to prove to y'all. Like, so if I could avoid a situation by any means, I would. Doesn't mean I'm scared. Doesn't mean I'm a punk. It just means like I got to be smart. Like if this person loves me that much and will protect my life with his, like I don't want to make him do that if he doesn't have to. So you know what I'm saying? Certain problems weren't really problems, but those dudes were necessary to help me navigate and be able to be comfortable to live and be safe, right? Make sure I was always looked out for, whether that was dudes my age, OGs older than me. Like there's so many people that people won't ever know about that held me down and protected me and kept me safe in order for me to be on this journey to be sitting in front of you guys. And so as much as I talk about the teachers, the coaches, my family, like I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the people who had to live a different life, who had to take a different path, but gave everything they had to always make sure I was safe, to make sure that I could focus on making a better life for myself. And so, I know people always get like this negative connotation of like your posse, your gang, or this, that, and the third. I just look at it as just like people who knew that their role in life wasn't going to be what they thought it would be. And so they were okay with helping someone else ensure that they would have a chance to live theirs. And they saw something in me that they would never let me be a part of that world. And anyone who tried to derail that path or do any harm, they wouldn't allow that to happen. So I would have a chance to succeed. And that like those people to me are just as important to me as guidance counselors.
As your teammates, anybody,
because without them, I mean, just keep it 100. Like there's situations I wouldn't have been okay without them. And so, I think about everybody, man. And there's just so many people that have helped me along the way. And I'm just truly thankful, man. The people that I've met along the way, the people that say I've impacted their lives, people I've been able to give back to, someone running up to you saying, man, I'm your biggest fan. Like that really hits you, man. Like something.
No, it does. Cause I mean, you got people on Twitter, man. I see you, man. People on Twitter, people on Twitter hit you up all the time. Like, yo, my man Hagans, man, that's my guy. He hit me up, and I'm like, that's what it's about, bro.
That's important to me. Like,
it's so important.
So many dudes, like, I connected with, like, I always just tried to spread love, whether it was, from my guys on Shell Road to guys in downtown Newport News, East End, Warwick, Denby, Minchfield, wherever. Like I never wanted a problem, you know. Like I'm not like a guy like that wants to be like, all right, let me show you how my guys get down. Let's create a problem and so y'all can talk about it. Like, I want to go somewhere. I want to have a good time. I want to show love, and then I want us all to leave together. You know, have a good time, and you know that was something that was always important to me. So a lot of these places, like I go around, like I'm not saying I'm invincible, but a lot of these places I show love everywhere I go. Like I've never had a problem showing love to other people or giving respect to other people. You know what I'm saying? Like why would I hate or try to create a problem? Like that's how I just want to be remembered, man. Like I show love to everybody. I would do anything for anybody. And I'm a fan of everybody, you know, like.
And that's why you so valuable and still in the 7-5, man. People respect you, man. They respect your opinion. They respect your, you know, what you got going on. And man, listen, man.
I want everybody to succeed, man.
Yeah, man, you have to.
Taj Boyd was at Clemson. I was rooting for him. EJ Emanuel at Florida State.
Yep. I forgot all about those guys.
I'm rooting for him. Philip Sims goes down. I don't even know him. I'm rooting for him. You
know, they Phoebus guys too, man.
Phoebus guys. You know, DJ
Virginia Beach.
Like DJ Parker is my guy. You know, like he's a two-time rival. He's a Phoebus Phantom, and he's a
other guy.
Other guy. But that is my guy, man.
The other guy.
Like,
right.
We text all the time, man.
Really,
you know,
that's
like
cool.
Aaron Rouse,
that's cool.
like, you know, the things he's doing across the water.
Oh, Virginia Beach. Yeah, he's doing Virginia Beach.
That's a rival, but like that's my guy. Like, you know, I'm checking in.
Big up to Aaron Rouse, man. He's a city councilman on Virginia Beach,
absolutely, man. That rivalry is once a year. But if people really look like Dwight Vick, like man, me and Dwight talk almost like once every week, man. Just checking in. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many people that are really connected behind the scenes within that rivalry.
Right.
It's only one day out of the year. And I think people would be amazed at how close most of those dudes are. Like
look,
convention every year.
You're right, man.
There's a section locked off where it's just UVA and Tech. And we just chilling. Like we joke and we talk about the rivalry, but we just chilling. We all get along. It's not like you walking in and like, man, I hate him. I'm a swinger. Man, we're just guys just enjoying each other.
Right.
Like, remember in 97 or 99 or 03? Like, yeah, we talk about that. But we get along, man. There's no animosity. Like, there's no real beef between
It's just beef. It's just love. It's just love. It's just love. So look, man, you got fam getting drafted, man. Daz Newsome, what you think about him, man? Going to the draft is coming up here.
Daz is a savage, man. Like he was always the young one that was just so tough. You know, like when he's in diapers coming up, like you can just see it. Like he fall, he doesn't cry. You know, you beat him up, you tackle him. He always wants more. Like he was playing rec league. They were like, man, get him out of the game. Like he's gonna hurt somebody. Like he just always had that motor. Different than being at a skill position with that mindset. I think is really giving him an added advantage. There's nothing on the field he thinks he can't do. And he loves to work and he loves the game of football. So I think wherever he goes, they'll get a good football player. And
yes,
they
will.
Who's gonna bring a mindset of a defensive player on offense. And I'm excited for him, man. I'm excited for him. He's a hell of a football player, man.
Yes, sir. He is.
Wow. Man, we can talk to you all day, man. Because
just imagine with the cookouts and stuff, like when you got all these dudes, man. Like,
oh my goodness,
we would have a ball, man. So I'm very like, we was joking with my mom, but man, if I got to come back, if I didn't get my same family, man, I'd be sick. Like I don't know what I would do, man.
Like I said, man, that's why I love the 7-5, man. It's everything just pride. It's just pride, bro. I just love way 7-5 just reacts to.
Show love, man. Like
it's always love, man. It's always like
that like we arrogant. We're not.
No, it's not. Listen,
I say that.
No, I tell the story. I tell the story. Whoever listening, man. I was driving in a Wawa in Hampton. Tyrod Taylor pulls up in I'm not gonna tell you what kind of car he pulled up in. It was a nice car. So he pulls up, and my daughter was like, "Yeah, you said you knew Tyrod. You said you knew Tyrod. You better say something to him." I said, "Oh man, I hope he say something to me." Tyrod pulls up, and being a humble dude as he is, I said, "Tyrod," because I'm like, "Look, my daughter gonna get me if you don't say if you don't say nothing." Man, Tyrod pulls up. "What's up, bro? What's up, man?" showed me so much love at a gas station, bro. That's what I'm saying. The 7'5", man, these dudes are so cool, bro. It's amazing. Like, he pulled up, he said, "What's up? What you doing? You need something?" I said, "I'm good, Tyrod. My daughter wanted to meet you." He took pictures, signed it. It was just love. That's why it's just dudes, just regular guys just pulling up and just so much love, man.
That's who he is. So when Tyrod was playing quarterback early, like my pops used to work with him. And so, you know, his dad and my uncle are like best friends. And so his dad would look out for me, just like, "Man, you straight," like all the time. Like,
yeah, man, it's love, like, bro.
You know, come home from school, like, "Man, let's go to Applebee's," you know.
Yeah,
you know, like this,
on Coliseum,
like, about so many good people, man. You know, like,
it's just love, man.
Have a dude like AI, like, be like I'm his little
AI be pulling up all the time.
Like,
yeah,
bring him up to UVA and like everybody like, "Oh, AI is like," you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just him just showing me love, man. Like, and that,
man.
That's just who we are, man. And I think that's one of the coolest things, man. So, you know, I got it tatted on my arm and be 7'5" forever.
All day, man. It's
love,
crazy.
Man.
It's crazy. Love. Like, people don't understand. Like, 7'5" dudes just walk around because it's their home.
It's home,
and,
man.
And they just walk around like it's regular people, man. It's just so much love. I mean, yo, Chuck just walked by me. You know what I mean? Like, in the hotel, it's just like, yo, it's just, it's crazy. Yeah, man, it's just home, bro. Look, man, we're not gonna hold you up, bro. Like, we know you gotta run, man. We just oh my God, bro. We just appreciate all the love you're showing us, man. But just sum it up, man. Like your wide receiver coach, Virginia. What you looking at, man? Like I know you're recruiting 7'5". So what's Virginia looking like for next year?
Man, I think we got a lot of young pieces, a lot of good pieces coming back. You know, everybody feels good around this time because everybody's undefeated. So, you know, we just getting ready for spring ball, man. We didn't have it last year because of COVID. You know, we were able to get through the off-season workouts, which we didn't have last year either. So we got a good, 8 weeks in of really working hard, and we'll start spring ball on Tuesday. You know, hopefully, at the end of the light with this COVID, so we'll get through that. And then we'll have the summer workouts that we didn't have. So I would say right now, man, just getting the guys a spring ball, getting better, and just getting ready for a hell of a 2021 season, man. Everybody feels the same way. They're going to make a run for a championship. But, I think it's just getting better internally. And then the guys that want to be a part of it, come join us. If not, we'll see you when we see you. So, yeah, man, I'm excited. I got a good group of guys that work hard and are eager to prove that, we play receiver too. And if I ain't gonna be the best, I don't want to do it. So, our goal is to be the best receiver.
There you go. There you go.
No disrespect to anybody else.
No, man, just confident. There you go.
We're gonna go after it, man. Like I said, I see coaches, they like, yeah, I do. I think we can be the best. That's what we were. If we ain't gonna be the best, why the hell will we show up? No, I'll just sit there. I ain't scared.
For sure.
I ain't scared. You put your shoes on one shoe at a time like we do. Until y'all start dropping from the sky, you don't fear nobody. Just line up and let's go. So,
that's that 757 mentality, though, dog.
It is. Like,
you just the pride and just the hunger, man. Just want to be the best, man. Because you see
everybody, but
I'm man, you got respect for everybody, but you seen the best, so you like, man, look, I can do this. You know what I mean?
I'm not waking up at 5:30 every day just to be okay. Just to
there you go.
I want to be the best.
Exactly.
There you go.
If I'm gonna change my life, man, I gotta sacrifice and invest more than anybody else, and that's what the plan is every day, to be the best. So. Nothing personal to nobody. This is who we are.
Man, ain't nothing personal, man. Like I said, respect is respect. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like that, man. Like I said, with your stories and everything that you told today, man.
Amazing.
I mean, I didn't even know what to expect or what you was going to say. I just like to listen most. So a lot of time I'd be so engaged in your stories, man, and what's going on.
Amazing stories,
I can sit up here and have a boatload of questions, but really it's all about me just listening.
They're just listening, man. It's crazy, bro.
For real, people don't understand. They be like, man, we want you to talk more. I be like, man, I be listening to the stories. That's
the stories are amazing, bro. Amazing.
I'm like, yeah, I just let them. I said, just let them go. I gotta say that. I don't even want to stop them.
Well, I tell you what, man. I appreciate y'all having me, and y'all want to have me again on the summertime, man. I'm happy to whenever.
Hey, man. I'm serious. No, that was we was gonna say, man, because like I said, man, we talking about doing some round tables, man, and just look, we it's a whole lot of stuff we didn't even get to talk to you about.
We didn't talk about
a lot of stuff, man.
Let me tell y'all something. All right, like if I tell you something like I'm down, like I'm not just saying it, like I'm not one of them.
I know you
like,
cool with
I'll
it.
do
I know you cool.
And then I won't come back to it. Like I'm telling y'all, like once we finish spring ball, like April 1st is the spring game. No,
Okay.
what we in March?
March,
Yeah.
May 1st is the spring game. So as soon as we finish that, anytime after that, I swear, like
man, listen, man, we got
to
do part 2, bro.
However long it takes, man.
You guys,
no, man,
man, listen,
seriously,
man.
Y'all got my number.
I got your number, Marcus.
Yes,
I got your number, bro.
As soon as spring ball is over, whenever y'all want to get together, man.
Yes, sir, man. We appreciate you, bro. And one thing I want to say is, you know, I've always said this area is so humble, man. You continue the legacy of being humble, bro. Like I just like I said, just talking to a lot of dudes from around here, Rutland, Chuck.
That's my guy, man. Like
shit, Rutland, man. That dude's so humble, though, dude. Humble.
That dude pull up from the Bear, man. Like,
but Hagans.
One time, man. I thought it was.
Let me say something about Rutland. Rutland did mention, don't get it twisted. He will give you 40 if you want to.
Man, let me tell you something. One of the best interviews we had.
Man, Rutland, that's my guy, dude. I would text Rutland right now. Oh my God. And that's what I love about this area. They so humble, dude. People think this area, when you think about it, like the grades to come from here, they humble as I don't know what though, bro.
Man, talking to him and Coach Bailey, Coach Shonda, man.
Yeah, Shonda was cool too.
Shonda great
man. Shonda good people. Shonda good people. Yeah.
Man, I was just like, yo, and like I said, it's just like everybody's so cool.
They cool, man.
Me, I just was like, okay, after this smoke, now I'm like, I watched you guys in the stands. Now for me, listen, now people get mad, you know, I ain't gonna say they get mad, but they be like, yo, will we be acting like these people be like stars? To me
listen,
and you,
Hagans,
like,
no, you're right.
Listen,
I was at the game in Norfolk State, Hagans. Like, I was at that state championship game.
Up here acting like this. I'm like, yo, yes, this is like, look, we asked them to come on here. First of all, we want people on here that wants to be here, and the fact that you want to be on here to tell us what's going on, man, I get hyped, man. I'm like, y'all don't understand what we do, man.
I was looking at the clips, like, y'all gotta get up there, you know?
Like, yeah, man.
Thank you, man.
That's why I hit you. I was like, "Yo, man, we want you. We've been wanting you, but I know you're busy."
I've never saw myself other than a man of the people. That's it. I joke, I say that, but I believe that. Like I'm the same dude. I'll go out, we'll win, score touchdowns, and then if I see you out, like even if I don't know you when I meet you, man, come on, man, let's go. Let's go eat.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Why would I ever put myself above people?
It's all love,
but be surprised, man. I'm telling you. And we're not going to call the names out, but I'm going to say it because I don't give a damn. We've been reaching out to some people.
A lot of people.
A lot of people. They look at it and I don't care if they get back to y'all.
A lot of people.
At me. I'm on Twitter. Y'all can at me on Facebook. I don't give a damn. Y'all know how to find
me. There's a lot of people. And look, Larry. Can I take it to another level? It's a lot of UVA. It's a lot of UVA people who we waiting on. Man. We waiting on a lot of UVA people.
You text me. We won't put them on blast. You text me. And
I ain't gonna put them on blast on here.
No, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that because, like I said, because we could carry it down, but it ain't this. Like, man, listen.
A lot of UVA people we want.
Do is like we talking about you. What Chuck said, man. We talking about practice. All we up here do. All we ever talk about you guys. You guys act like. Now that you can't come on and just talk about, we want to glorify you. It ain't about us. This is a show for the people, man.
Come on, man. Look, we want to get my cousin on here. Man. You text me who they are.
Look, Marcus. Man.
I'm like, at this point, I don't even want them because of the.
No. It's people that look. Listen, it's people that we wanted on. Who've had other obligations that we're not gonna talk about, but it's all good. It's all good, bro. It's all good.
Man, no, if it's Don Staley, I can't help you.
No.
You can't get Don. I know you can get Don. You can get Don if you wanted to.
No, it ain't like that. No,
you get Don. I'm sure you can get Don if you wanted.
That ain't the one.
Hey, look.
But look, man. We'll be kind of like. putting it down. I'm gonna say
no. Larry gonna call him out. Larry gonna call him out.
No. I'm not gonna call him out by name.
We ain't gonna do the name on here.
What he said, no, F that. They know what I'm saying. Because for real, it's like, come on, man. We just trying to reach out. Like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this.
Hey, look, man.
All this back and forth. All that
hey, look.
No,
I'm gonna say this, Larry. With Marques Hagans' pedigree and what he's done and his legacy, if he gonna come on, why the rest of? Because I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. Marques Hagans has a bigger legacy than the people we wanted to come on.
Hey,
and y'all acting like y'all can't come on, and this man right here has done more than y'all. But that's besides the point. Besides the point. But look,
I'm trying to get my cousin on too, man. But I can't touch him. You can touch him.
I'm gonna get on him. I'll take care of him for you.
But look, man. Marques, and let's seriously, man. We appreciate you coming on, bro.
Yes.
And we gonna, man. Listen, man. It's all love, bro. You know, I've been following you for a minute. We've been keeping in touch for a while, man. We appreciate you, bro. Seriously.
Yes, man. We can talk to you all day.
I love your story, man. I love your insight. I love your perspective. Everything you bring.
Anything I can do, man. Like
you're giving back to the community. Man. You're changing lives, bro. You're giving people scholarships, man. Come on, bro. You're doing your thing, man.
I appreciate that. That means a lot.
757 own, man. You 757 to the death of you, man. You know what I'm saying? You all 75, baby.
I don't care where I go in life, man. When it's my time,
that's it, man. That's it.
Very
man, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you, man.
We appreciate you, bro.
I did, like I said, I didn't know what to expect, man, and I just blown away. And we got to do another one. And I just appreciate you just being humble and just being honest, man. It's like I don't know what to say. I'm just kind of blown away right now. I'm lost for words, man. Like I said, I just felt like I just felt like I met a friend, you know, like today, man.
For real,
like, man,
for real.
I don't.
That's respect,
man. Thank you, man. Just thank you,
y'all.
No, seriously, man. We appreciate you, bro.
And like I said, y'all got my number, man. When y'all
sir.
Ball's over, y'all want to get back together 2-3 times. It really don't matter to me.
We do, man. We appreciate you, man.
I love connecting with people, and any way I can help, man. Just let me know.
Man, we appreciate you, bro, man.
Yeah. And listen, don't forget Keenan, man. Tell Keenan, man. Get at your boy.
Get him. Hey, look, man. Marques Hagans, Ballin VA, aka Biscuit. He got other nicknames, but we're gonna call him Biscuit right now. But hey, man, listen, bro. We appreciate you, man. 757's own, the 757 great. UVA, NFL. Now he's coaching at Virginia. Listen, man. One love, bro. We appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a great night. Thank you.
You too, bro. Man.
Sponsored by Transitions Empowerment.